Hello everyone, welcome to zoology classes. Today we are going to discuss theories of evolution, Lamarkism. This is taken from the chapter Evolution. Lamarkism theory of evolution was proposed by Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck. Lamarck elaborated his doctrine of evolution in his masterpiece Philosophy Zoologique. This is famous book. It's a very important point. Lamarck also coined the term invertebrates and vertebrates. The term biology was also given by Lamarck. This theory is popularly known as the inheritance of acquired characters in organisms or use and disuse of organs. It has following postulates or the basic concepts. The basic concepts of Lamarckism: number 1, internal vital force. Some internal vital forces are present in all organisms. By the presence of these forces, organisms have the tendency to increase the size of their organs or entire body. This is the first postulate of this theory. So every organism has some vital forces by which it can increase its organ size as well as its body. Number 2 postulate: effect of environment and new needs. Change in the environment creates new needs in the living organisms so that these are better adapted to the changing environment. The changes may be habits or the behavior. So this is the second postulate. The third point is use and disuse of organs. The greater use of certain organs to meet the new needs and disuse or lesser use of certain other organs is in changed conditions. These are called the vestigial organs. If an organ is constantly used, it would be better developed, whereas disuse of organs results in its degeneration, which results in vestigial organs. So this is the second postulate: use and disuse of organs. The organs which are used gets transferred to the next generation, and the organs which are disused becomes vestigial organs or the functionless organs. The fourth postulate is inheritance of acquired characters. The characters acquired by an organism during its lifetime are inherited to the next generation. In every generation, some new characters were acquired, or the old one keeps on increasing or improving. As a result, after a number of generations, the species gets modified into a new one. This is called the inheritance of acquired characters, the characters which are formed during its lifetime. The examples in support of Lamarckism: number first is a famous example: long neck and high forelimb of giraffe. This is a famous example. The ancestors of the giraffe were deer-like, feeding on land. When the environment changes and the environment became arid land, the food was only present in trees. So these deer-like ancestors stretched their neck and forelimbs continuously. With time, and new species were formed, that is giraffe. Second example is aquatic birds stretch their toes and develop webs. Aquatic birds arise from the terrestrial ancestors. When they go into water, they stretch their toes and develop webs. This is the second example which supports the Lamarckism. The third example is snakes lost their legs. The snakes have lizard-like ancestors living in jungles. Out of fear to mammals, they start crawling. They stretch their body, which gradually become elongated. This is seen in the python having the rudiments of pelvic girdle. The other examples are deer became good runners by the development of strong limbs and streamlined body. Another example: retractile claws of carnivorous animals. Criticism of Lamarckism: number 1, according to first concept, organisms tend to increase their size, but it is not universally true. For example, among angiosperms, the trees seems to be primitive, and the shrubs, herbs, and grasses have evolved from trees, but the size was reduced during evolution. The second concept, the new organisms develop where the organisms feel their needs, is not true. If the development of new organs or structures depend upon the desire, why man has long desired to fly like birds have not developed the wings. The third concept is somewhat true, like the well developed bicep muscles of blacksmith and less developed wings in flightless birds. But this concept also have many objections, like the eyes of the student or reader do not increase in size and power with increased age. The constantly beating heart maintains a constant size throughout generation. This point can be explained also as the reaction to the environment may have some weightage. Organisms do react to the environment, but environment causes temporary changes in their organization, and these changes cannot be inherited to the offsprings. Similarly, it could not be understood that now use or disuse of an organ will produce a change in its size and how this change will be inherited to its offsprings. The fourth concept is completely false because acute characters are not inherited. The August Weismann in 1904 in his famous experiment cut off the tails of rats for about 22 or in some books it is written as 80 generations, but tailless offsprings were never born. On the basis of this experiment, Weismann proposed the theory of continuity of germplasm. According to Weismann, two types of matters are present in organism: somatoplasm and germplasm. The somatoplasm in somatic cells and germplasm in germinal cells. Somatoplasm dies with the death of an organism while germplasm transfers into the next generation. The germ cells which pass on their hereditary materials to the next generation and are found in gonads. The somatic cells which form the body and do not pass their hereditary materials to the offsprings. In the next point, if any variation develops in germplasm, it is inherited, while if variation develops in somatoplasm, it is not inherited. This concept was experimentally demonstrated by Pioneers kept Drosophila in dark up to 69 generations, but there was no reduction in the size or sight of eyes. The other examples are boring of ear and nose in Indians, iron shoes of Chinese, circumcision of penis in Muslims shows no hereditary effect. Also, the wrestler's muscles are very well developed but not inherited. Pavlov trained a dog to come to food on hearing the bell, but training was not inherited. Next topic is Neo-Lamarkism. This term was given by Foucault. Although Lamarkism remains controversial, but some scientists give the following evidences. Evidences in favor of Lamarkism. These are known as Neo-Lamarkism. According to Neo-Lamarckians, the acute characters which became incorporated in the germplasm are inheritable and accumulate generation after generation, results in the origin of new forms or new species. The experiments in support of inheritance of acute characters are: number 1, Sumner's experiment. Sumner performed his experiment on rat. He kept rat in warm temperature, resulting in the elongation of body, large pinna, and long tail. These features were inherited by the offspring. The second experiment is Camemer's experiment. Camemer kept salamander in dark background. The black spots found on the skin were widely spread. In light background, the skin became yellow with limited black spots. These characters were inherited by the offspring. The next experiment is McDougall's experiment. The McDougall trained rats to follow certain escape routes from a tank of water, and the training was given for about 45 to 50 generations. It was found that there was a decrease in number of errors made in learning the problem generation after generation. The Neo-Lamarckian Lamarkism explains formation of germ cell from somatic cells, effect of environment on germ cells through somatic cells, and direct effect of environment on. There are two special points, Alien's law and Cooper's law. Alien's law, it states that animals which live in cold climate, their extremities such as ear, tails, etc. becomes progressively smaller. Cooper's law states that there is a tendency of animals to increase in size during the long course of evolution.